Hello everyone. Today's question is interval list intersections. Given two lists of closed intervals, each list of intervals is pairwise disjoint and in sorted order. Return the intersection of these two interval lists. So first we will understand these questions and then we will move to the solution part. In our questions, A and B, two list of closed interval point is given. So A is marked with red color and B is marked with blue color. So now we check where A and B both are intersect with each other in which point. So we return the starting point and ending point pair. Okay, so how we will return it? And as you can see, first intersect point is 1 and 2 because they intersect between this point, and so we will return 1 and 2 in our result list. So now we check next intersect point. Next intersect point is 5. So in 5 point they intersect with each other, and again we move to the next. Next A and B both are intersect with each other in 8 to 10. So starting is 8 and ending is 10. So between this point they intersect with each other, and next intersect point is 15. Starting is 15 and ending in 23. So they intersect with each other between 15 to 23. So this part is common part between A and B. So we return starting point as 15 and ending point is 23. So we return, whenever we return the two value, that is starting point and ending point. So now as you can see, next is 24. In 24 point they intersect with each other, and we return 24 as our starting point and 24 as our ending point, because they only return only one point. So next is 25. So they intersect with each other in 25 point. Starting is 25 and ending also 25. So we simply return this green mark point. Now I will move to the solution part. In our solution, first we will take two pointer, that is I is pointing to A, and J is pointing to B. So we start from first element. So we assign I equals to 0 and J equals to 0. So now we will take a while loop. So we'll take a while loop. Inside this while loop, we check a condition when I lesser equals to length of A and J lesser equals to length of B. Then we will perform three operation. That is, we choose our starting point and choose our ending point. And how we choose our starting point? We check the first each element 0th index, maximum of 0th index as a starting point, and minimum of 1 index as our ending point. And we check from which list we choose our ending point, then we will increase our I pointer. And at the end we check our starting point is lesser or equals to ending point or not. If this is lesser or equals to ending point, then we'll add it in our result list. So first we choose the maximum of 0 and 1. So 1 is maximum, so our starting point is 1. And then we choose a minimum between 2 and 5. So cause we choose our starting point from 0th index and choose our ending point from 1 index. So our minimum of 2 and 5, we choose our ending point from minimum value, minimum between 2 and 5, that is 2. So our starting point is 1 and ending point is 2. Now we chosen our ending point from A's list, so we increase our I pointer. So now our I will be 1 because we chosen our ending point from A's list. Now I is 1. Now we check our starting point is lesser or equals to our ending point. Yes, our starting point is 1 and ending point is 2. So we will add it in our result list. Okay. So now our I is pointing to 5 and 10. So I is pointing to 5 and 10 because I is 1 and J is still pointing to 0th index, that is 1 and 5. So now we choose our maximum between 5 and 1. That is 5 is maximum between 1 and 5. So our starting index, next starting index is 5, and choose the minimum between 5 and 10. So that is 5. So 5 is minimum. Our 5 is our ending index. So this time I chosen our ending point from base list. So we increase our j pointer. So now we check our starting point and ending point. Starting point is lesser or equals to ending point. Yes. So simply we'll add it in our result list. So cause our starting point and ending point both are pointing to 5. So we simply add it in our result list. So inside this result list, we add first starting point is 1 and 2, and next starting point is 5 and ending point is 5. Now our I is pointing to one index and j is pointing to one index. So we choose the maximum between 5 and 8. So that is our starting point. 8 is our starting point because 8 is maximum. Now we choose our ending point, that is 10. This time I chosen our ending point from A's list. So we increase our I pointer. So now we check our starting point, means our starting point is lesser or equals to ending point or not. Yes, our starting point is lesser or equals to ending point. So we simply add it in our result list. So that is 8 our starting point and 10 our ending point. So now our I is pointing to index 2. So now we choose a maximum between 8 and 13 because I is pointing to index 2 and j is pointing to index 1. So our we always choose the maximum for starting point. So now our maximum is 13. So we mark 13 as our starting point and choose the minimum between 12 and 13 and marked it as a ending point. So 12 is our minimum between 12 and 23. So this time we chosen the ending point from B. So we increase our j pointer. So as you can see, our this time is interesting because our starting point is greater than ending point. So we don't add it in our result list. So now we'll move to the next index because our j is pointing to index 2. So maximum of 13 and 15 is 15. So our starting index is 15 and minimum of 24 and 23 is 23. So this time I chosen our minimum from A's list. So we increase our I pointer. So that is now our I is 3. So now our I is pointing to index 3. So now we check our starting index is lesser or equals to ending index or not. Yes, our starting, because starting is 15, 15 is less than 23. So we add it in our result list. So now our I is pointing to 24 and 25 and j is pointing to 15 and 24. So now maximum between 15 and 24, that is 24. So now we marked our starting point as 24, and now we choose our ending point, minimum of 25 and 24. So definitely 24 is minimum. So starting point and ending point both are 24, but this time I chosen our ending point from B's list. So we increase our j pointer. So now our j is also pointing to index 3. So that is 25 and 26. Now we check our starting point, that is 24, is lesser or equals to ending point or not. Yes, so we add it in our result list. So now our next I is pointing to 24 25 and j is pointing to 25 26. So choose the maximum between 24 and 25. 25 is maximum. So now we set our starting point as 25 and now we choose our ending point. So minimum between 25 and 26. 25 is minimum. So we marked our ending point as 25. So now this time we choose our ending point from A's list. So we increase our I pointer. Now our I pointer is 4. Now I will check our starting point, that is 25, is lesser or equals to ending point or not. So our starting point is 25 and ending point is also 25. So now we add it in our result list. So as you can see, our I is 4 and our length of A is also 4. So now while loop condition is not satisfied. So we will exit from this while loop and return our result list as an answer. So this is our desired answer. I hope you understood this solution. Now we'll move to the coding part. First I will take two pointer, that is I and j, and assign 0 into it and take a result list. And inside this while loop I check if I length is less than length of a and j is less than length of b, then we will perform certain operation. First I will take a starting point, that is L, and ending point, that is R. So we choose the maximum between a ai 0th index and bi 0th index. This is for starting point, and ending point minimum between ai 1 index and bj 1 index. So we choose the minimum for ending point, and if we chosen the ending point from our age list, so then we will increase the I pointer, else we will increase the j pointer. So we check another condition, that if our starting point, L is our starting point, if our starting point is get lesser or equals to ending point, then we will append it in our result list. So at the end, when while loop condition is not satisfied, we return our result list. So now we check our code is working or not. So yeah, now we submit it. Yeah, got accepted. If you will like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you have any doubt, please comment below. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Thank you for watching this video.